Good evening, my friends. I wanted to do a live stream today. That was one of my goals that I had set. And then I got talking to somebody here, but I wanted to come on today because I had a revelation this past week. Now, I follow a lot of extreme sports people, like people that have biking channels, people on YouTube that are into mostly mountain biking, BMX riding. And I noticed a correlation in a lot of those types of people that are successful and that have something going on for themselves. And this revelation came when I was watching Billy Perry's YouTube channel. He is a BMX rider from New York City. And they scheduled this big ride out, and everybody was riding through the city, and it was like a whole mob of BMX riders, right? And they were going through the city, and like the cops were chasing them, and all this stuff. And the one kid that was with them, I heard in the audio, he said to his other friend, "Man, we really needed that." And I had this revelation when he said that, and I could just put myself in their shoes. And it was like, they were living on the edge. It was exciting, right? And he was participating in this group, and it was fun. And in that moment, I had this revelation that nobody can touch that moment. Nobody can touch that. That's not something that anybody can reach out and take away from you. A lot of these dudes like Sam Pilgrim that I watch, he has a mountain biking channel, and a lot of people that are in that scene, nobody can take that away from them, right? So it's like nobody can take that from them. They enjoy mountain biking, or if you enjoy running or you enjoy cycling, no one can take that away from you. So one of the main revelations is if you're having, difficulty in your life, or you're feeling depressed or anything like that, have something in your life that nobody can touch. Nobody can take away from you. So, a lot of times we give our power over to other people in a similar fashion when we let people take our peace. We let people take our energy. We let people do all these things, right? We let the government and all these conspiracy theories take our energy. And we let the mass media sometimes take our minds, right? So there's all this stuff going on. And most of those people are so happy just riding a bike. And I too am into biking. If you haven't noticed, I'm into biking, and that's something that nobody can touch. Nobody can, take that from me. When I'm on my bike and I'm riding my bike, it's just me and the bike, right? It's like, some people go outside and they landscape, or they mow grass. It's something that just calms the mind, and it's really, you enter into a state of just being. You're just enjoying the moment. So Do You Have It was the title of this video, and it's, do you have something that nobody can touch? Do you have it? Do you have something that you're passionate about? Do you have something that nobody can reach out and take from you? And that was the main revelation that I had this past week. And I thought about it, and I thought, man, so many of us get caught up in the matrix, and with all these bills and rent and all this money and all this stuff, it's just kind of outside noise. But a lot of times those problems seem insurmountable to us when we're in our apartments and we keep thinking about it. And then you go and do something like riding a bike or kayaking, or just maybe getting out and going for a run. And suddenly all those problems start to fade away, because now you've entered into your beingness, like your kind of spiritual authority. And oftentimes, if we let the mind kind of run the show, the ego will start to take and twist our thoughts. And now all of a sudden we have all these problems. So everybody is in the same kind of situation. They're having all these fears about the economy, and all these economies are collapsing around the world. You know, how true that is, I'm not really sure, but I know that the world is in an economic crisis. But that should not let us be ruled then by fear and have these people kind of inject that into you. Because I've found recently that if you can have something that nobody can touch, nobody can ever touch you. You know what I'm saying? If you have something that no one can touch, you can never be then touched by these problems that seem so drastic. Because over the last week or two, everybody keeps trying to inject fear into me, and they're not doing this consciously. It doesn't matter who I talk to, who I run into, they'll start questioning what I'm doing, and telling me I need to save my money, and like all these things. And you know, it's all coming from this lack mentality. And you hear that often, but it couldn't be so true now, because we talk all these things in the spiritual community. I talk and I preach about these principles and these virtues and living this type of life. And now is the moment when it's more important, more now than it's ever been before, to practice what we preach, to embody these higher principles. We can't now revert back to living in this fear mentality and living in this lack mindset and having all these things, because that will just attract us, and that will just, we will start to backslide. And I, for one, don't want to live in fear, and I don't want to have other people take my peace from me. And you may find that that is happening. You'll run into someone and they'll unknowingly kind of just inject this into you. You know, this even happened with a counselor. I have a few counselors that I talk to, and, you know, and they were even saying things like, oh, well, what are you going to do? You know, you lost your job. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you know, because they're concerned, but they're also curious, because once you live a spirit-filled life and you live by spirit, it looks completely insane to other people that don't live that way, right? Because most of the time, spirit doesn't make logical sense. And that's true, right? Because our brain and our mind is logical, and spirit is our spirit. And most times that's why we have such a hard time understanding spirituality and understanding God and understanding all these things, because it's the exact opposite of what we were taught. Most of us were taught about, you know, right and wrong, morals. And from a very young age, we were instilled with this analytical, logical, problem-solving type of thing. So if you have something that nobody can touch on a daily basis, your quality of life will drastically improve. And during these times, you may have heard me say a bunch of times recently that I started to run, to run every other day and work out a lot more. And that's because that's mine. Like, I have that. Like, it's something that nobody can touch. And I feel better when I run. I feel better when I work out. I also cook a lot, because that's also something that nobody can touch. Nobody can take that from me. And, you know, having that kind of healthy staples in your spiritual life will drastically improve every other area of your life. So when you exercise, you think better. And when you think better, you make better choices. When you eat better, you feel better. It's all this cycle of just general feelings of well-being. So I hope you guys got something from that. I don't want to ramble on too much, but I wanted to share my revelation and share more revelations like this, and just talk to you like a normal, regular person. And if you haven't checked out my most recent video, I really put some effort into that, did some pretty cool graphics and music. I will be doing a new moon energy update with an oracle card reading, I think coming up here on the 18th. I think it's next Tuesday is the new moon. I just wanted to pop on here real quick. I hope everybody is staying safe, living a healthy life, and being led by spirit. All right, my friends, peace, much love.